Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to the Purple Haze podcast. Everybody, I am your lovely host, Isaac. So, make sure you guys hit that like button and hit that subscribe button before you get into the video if you haven't already. So, the Vikings preseason week one is in the books at Lumen Field against the Seattle Seahawks. Final score as they fall short. Final score 24-13. So, let's go ahead and get the stats and then we'll talk over some of the game stuff. Time of possession, the Seattle Seahawks held it for just a minute longer. Not too bad. Now, for the Vikings, 248 total yards, 165 passing yards, 83 rushing yards, 16 first downs, 4 for 14 on third down conversions. And then for Seattle, they had 332 yards, 226 passing yards, 106 rushing yards, 15 first downs, and 4 for 11. So, those stats were not too bad. So the Seattle Seahawks didn't necessarily knock our socks off. So, okay. There's a lot of good that I'm going to take away. Let's start off with the good. Nick Mullins, 14 for 20, 139 yards, and a touchdown. Absolutely. He was moving the ball, especially in the first half. He was great. He got he was very good. So I would say he's very efficient. So pretty good. And Nick Muse had basically 3 catches for 10 yards and a touchdown. He had that amazing touchdown catch from Nick Mullins, which he mossed one of the Seattle Seahawks defenders. He absolutely had an insane grab right there. Very good stuff from Nick Muse. And for the leading receiver, Jalen Reagor, not too shabby, 4 for 50. 4 catches for 55 yards. Had that great grab. Because here's the deal. He's playing like a good receiver. Even after after taking a hit, a nasty hit from a Seattle defender, he got back up and he continued to catch. He was still not shaken up or anything. He did not get to him mentally. So, good job for Jalen Reagor on that part. Ty Chandler was very effective, especially in the first half. He was really, really effective. 11 carries for 41 yards. He absolutely there was not one play where Ty Chandler was just breaking at least one tackle. Ty Chandler, despite having a bad offensive line, he was effective. Not just the run, but just the pass too as well. He was keeping drives alive on a screen. Jaren Hall, 6 for 14, 37 yards. Yes, he had a little bit of an off day, but he was smart with the ball. He was absolutely smart. He got one off to N'Keal Harry, sorry. And Jaren Hall, for out there, people say, oh, Jaren Hall didn't do too well. Well, he minimized the damage on basically the second to last possession where they lost yards. Jaren Hall, he by no means, in his defense, the offensive line did him no favors, which we will get to just in a second. So, I thought he was smart. Jordan Addison, a very good debut, had a catch for 22 yards. Should have been a second one. He took a nice sideline catch, which was a catch. It was not. So it was a sidestep, and he had control his feet were in bounds, so I don't know why that wasn't a catch, but I thought Jordan Addison did. He played a few series of the snaps or possessions, so I thought Jordan Addison was really good. N'Keal Harry, he had a nice grab for, I believe, 16 yards to keep a drive alive. Despite pressure from Jaren Hall, he absolutely did great. And on defense, Brian Flores, he absolutely had amazing. The box score suggests they allowed 24, but they were really efficient, especially in the first half. He was dialing up blitzes, pressure from mostly second team. I mean, the third team was a little bit hit and miss. But Brian Flores with an amazing debut from him. In the first half, he only allowed the only drive that they allowed was 69 yards in the Seattle's second to last possession, but overall 121 yards in the first half. Very, very impressive start from the defense. I thought they did an outstanding job outside the second half. I mean, it was hit and miss, but whatever. I don't care about that. Luigi Villain, absolutely amazing pass rusher. He got to, I think he got a couple sacks. It should have been, one was not another. So Luigi Villain, I mean, he almost sacked one person. Not a person. He almost sacked Drew Lock on one play, who forced it. So he basically forced a 3-and-out by killing a drive of Seattle. So Luigi Villain, I mean, I feel like he should be one of the 53 men on the roster. I think he should. Mekhi Blackman, not too shabby. I mean, sure, he gave up that touchdown. I believe it was the first Seattle touchdown. I mean, he was expecting help. It was a tight window. I don't think I blame Mekhi Blackman for that. But he absolutely was great in coverage. He absolutely killed one drive, which he was running with him the whole time, which was great coverage. It was incomplete, but he had great coverage of him. Ivan Pace Jr. This dude wreaked havoc from start to finish on that game. He was stuffing the run. He was all over the place. Man, Ivan Pace Jr., he absolutely tore up the Seattle offense. So, Ivan Pace Jr. from an undrafted free agent, I mean, honestly, so far, I think he should earn a 53-man roster spot by default, behind, or maybe at least the backup to either Jordan Hicks or Brian Asamoah. Not the backup to the backup. I think he should, for at least. Ivan Pace Jr. absolutely did a very good job. I think he was the main spotlight. I mean, I don't know. But, man, he was amazing. Jalen Smith also had a very nice one-handed interception in the third quarter. I mean, one of TJ Smith, I believe it was TJ. I don't know what his first name was, TJ, but he had a tip, and then Jalen Smith for the turnover. And then we got Joan Williams, who had a very good pass breakup in the end zone to prevent the Seattle Seahawks from a score. Still got scored on that drive anyways, but Joan Williams, very impressive. Theo Jackson, I mean, people have not been... Theo Jackson, I believe he was not too shabby. So, Theo Jackson had an absolute nice stop. One in particular where the running back was behind. He made up for so much speed and tackled him. I think Theo Jackson has done a good job. And now for some of the bad. The offensive line was atrocious. Oh my lord. Especially in the fourth quarter. It was so... basically the box score suggests they gave up Seattle. They only gave up one. But the biggest thing about that was Jaron Hall, especially that, was they had so many killed drives in the second half. I do not know how many there was. Especially Ed Ingram, who was atrocious at pass blocking. Veteran Lowe and Oli Udoh, who are just as bad. And they were the weakest link of this offense. You couldn't get anything going with basically offensive line, which is why I defend Jaron Hall for that game. I don't think it's his fault. So, the offensive line, especially to the second to last possession, they netted 11. They went backwards 11 yards on their second to last possession. What? Are you kidding me? And the offensive line didn't do any better. In the fourth quarter, they got 35 yards total in the fourth quarter. That's not acceptable. The offensive line, I mean, I will go deeper dive into it maybe Monday, but it was atrocious. It needs to be better. So Dwayne McBride, I mean, the offensive line wasn't doing him any favors either, but you still, on that 4th and 1 play where Kevin O'Connell decided to go for it, he couldn't get within a yard. He started getting pushing back instead of finding a hole that's right there. So Dwayne McBride was meh. Andrew Booth Jr. got absolutely torched all game long. Probably the weakest link on the defense as well. He gave up a 19-yard touchdown, which basically he gave up separation too much to him, which made it easy for him. And also, the penalties in the first, they were like 5 of them. Not really much disciplined, really. Not disciplined in the first half, but to their credit, there was not a whole lot of penalties. I mean, in the second half for the Vikings, but Seattle wasn't any better on penalties either. They were bad with them. And also, basically, Lewis Cine, I mean, I really thought this dude was something, Lewis Cine. I thought he was really something, but he looked like he could not tackle very well. That was a very poor job of tackling by Lewis Cine. He was tackling with his body instead of his arms, so very awful. And the fourth quarter especially was very sloppy for like both sides on offense and defense, and just like that, the fourth quarter, I mean, one was a touchdown pass which gave the Seattle Seahawks a 17-13 where I already talked about Andrew Booth Jr. gave up easily, and then a muffed punt easily by Thayer Thomas, which was at the Minnesota 32 after that, and then something that happened basically to put the Seattle Seahawks up 24-13. Okay, it was a very bad pass from, I forgot who his name was. I don't remember who the Seattle Seahawks quarterback was. It's a backup to Drew Lock. He threw a very bad pass, a duck of a pass up, which looked like a punt. But Barnes, number 27, looked like he stumbled backwards and got pushed around by the wide receiver very easily, it looked like. Which he got very lucky that it was not an interception, because that was easily an interception that should have been picked off, but that turned into a touchdown because, I don't know. The fourth quarter, I mean, it was a bit sloppy, but other than that, I don't. But Ed Ingram on pass blocking, he is a sled. It just proves last year he was very bad. He was bad against basically starting lineups, but against in preseason games, the defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks, they dominated. They pushed around the offensive line all game long. And Ed Ingram was one of the bigger problems. Pass blocking, I mean, good Lord. Ed Ingram was very bad. So, I mean, before we end the video, my MVP has to be Ivan Pace Jr. He wrecked havoc from start to finish, playing all over the place, stopping the run when he had to. I feel like Ivan Pace Jr. was great. I am absolutely excited to see more of this dude. So as for right now, other than that, I'm not entirely upset about this game. So it's still, which really does not count, but they got their work cut out for weeks 2 and week 3 against the Titans and Cardinals. So we'll see how it goes. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.